Tonight, an Arkansas state senator continuing his push against that planned Franklin County state prison.
5 News reporter Jacob Luthi joins us now with the senator's latest efforts. Jacob.
Yeah, Arkansas State Senator Bryan King tells me that for the first time, he presented his ideas to reduce crime and incarceration rates to the Arkansas Board of Corrections, where he hopes to find support for his proposed legislation.
Mega prisons are mega financial disasters.
State Senator Bryan King has been outspoken on a planned 3,000-bed Franklin County prison. And on Wednesday, he took his ideas to address high crime and incarceration rates, as well as overcrowding in state prisons, to the Arkansas Board of Corrections.
So right now, before we do this is a great opportunity to get out there and visit with the people and get with their legislators and go down a plan that's fiscally responsible and actually going to reduce crime and reduce overcrowding, and not trust the same people that promised you, lower crime and lower overcrowding.
King says he believes the board was responsive, and he intends to speak with them individually in the future as he tries to gain support for 6 new bills he filed to address crime and incarceration rates. Those plans include taking the first sales tax at the start of the fiscal year and creating a public safety fund that would be used to hire public safety officers.
My plan is a holistic plan that addresses the high crime rate by putting public safety officers out there to make our streets, our communities, our rural areas safer for people to operate.
King adds his plan looks to best address a pressing issue in the state that has yet been fixed.
And we can look and reverse the direction that a lot of politicians have promised to take care of but haven't, of reducing crime, high overcrowding, and high incarceration rates.
Now, King says he's also planning to travel around the state to share his ideas with the public over the next several months. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
All right, Jacob, thanks. The Arkansas House stepped closer to voting on that bell-to-bell no cell phone bill. The bill would require public schools to have a policy that bans students from using a personal electronic device while on school property during school hours. Full House read an updated version of that bill today that includes, it was added by the House Education Committee, that provides exemptions for school-issued devices like tablets. It's now set to go before a full House vote. That amendment would also need to be approved by the Senate before it can go to the governor's desk. A plan to roll back Arkansas's water fluoridation program hit some roadblocks today at the state capitol. Senate bill failed to pass through a committee. Supporters credit it with preventing tooth decay and boosting overall oral health in the state, but opponents say the chemical has dangerous effects to the body. Springdale Senator Clint Penzo says, one of the bill sponsors, he says despite today's result, he plans to continue working to change that law.
I've got a separate bill in state agencies that addresses more of an opt-out instead of just removing the mandate. It's got a higher probability of passing than this does.
Hawaii is the only U.S. state right now that bans drinking water fluoridation.
2 escaped inmates from LaFleur County are back in custody tonight. The Oklahoma Department of Corrections says Justin Turner and David James have been on the run since Saturday after they walked away from the Jim E. Hamilton Correctional Center together. Turner is serving a 5-year sentence for assault and battery on a police officer and drug trafficking in Oklahoma County. James is serving a 16-year sentence for possession of drugs with intent to distribute. According to the LaFleur County Sheriff's Office, they were caught in Polk County, Arkansas. Arkansas State Police launched a 1-day mission to fight human trafficking in Fort Smith called Operation Voice. With help from local organizations, it gave victims a way out and a path forward. 5 News reporter Jose Carranza went to Fort Smith to learn how.
Arkansas State Police say they identified a human trafficking suspect and more than 40 victims in Operation Voice. Beyond any criminal activity, they say this operation is about helping the victims. Arkansas State Police say Operation Voice in Fort Smith took place at a local hotel looking for victims of human trafficking.
We spent just a short window of a day of looking at escort sites, online advertisement, looking at their ads and identifying them through that and realizing that they are individuals from that community.
Police won't disclose the hotel, but said they assisted as their team helped 12 adult victims and another 32 were identified. The team outside also caught a suspect as they were dropping a victim off.
I'm still under investigation and working with the prosecuting attorney's office there.
It's been known that human trafficking is on the rise. It's not new to our area, it's just newly talked about.
Penny Burns is the CEO of the Crisis Intervention Center, who help provide resources to victims.
This will lead to safer communities. If traffickers can't come in here and recruit people to be victims of trafficking, then those traffickers will leave this area. And the only way to get victims out of those situations is to provide them victim services.
The main thing is yes or no. It's simple. We're giving their voice back.
For those looking to help, state police and the Crisis Intervention Center say to trust your gut and report any suspicions. Arkansas State Police has put together a map of resources in each county across the state they can find on their website. You can also reach out to the Crisis Intervention Center, who says if you're worried about going somewhere local, they'll help you connect to any outside resource. In Fort Smith, covering News Where You Live, Jose Carranza, 5 News.
A former Rogers teacher has been arrested for the second time this year. Robert Beard now faces 25 new counts of sexually grooming a child. He was also arrested in late January by Springdale police after officers were notified that he picked up a child from a school dance. After the arrest, other students reported that Beard had sent them sexually explicit images and videos. He worked as a computer science teacher at the Arkansas Arts Academy for 2 years until he was terminated in July 2024.
New at 6, we first told you about Tyler Shambles last week, a Gravette firefighter who was fighting for his life after an off-duty motorcycle accident. Well, now we are learning he has woken up and on the road to recovery. 5 News reporter Kayla Davis talking to his wife tonight.
It was Shelby Shambles' worst nightmare when she received the call no wife wants to answer.
Instantly, I knew, like, my heart dropped before they could even say, "We have your husband here." To my boss, I had to go, and that was it. Flew down 2 flights of stairs to my car and told my parents, "I'm sorry, here's what's going on," and they helped take care of the kids. I was here within the hour.
She's been at a hospital in Missouri ever since, hoping and praying her husband Tyler would wake up after he fell off his motorcycle and sustained a brain injury.
There were nights I would try not to fall asleep, just because when you fall asleep, you're like, oh, it's nice and peaceful. You have the good, perfect life in your head, and then you wake up looking at that, and you're just like, what did I wake up to?
But her prayers were answered. With the help of Tyler's medical team, about a week later on January 7th, he woke up.
For a minute, I had doubts that maybe they were a little behind, but they weren't. They were doing things, 2 steps, maybe 3 steps ahead of, where my head was going, where I was thinking.
But Tyler still has a long road ahead.
We've actually got someone flying out from Craig Rehab Facility in Denver, Colorado. And they are actually going to try and do an intake for him. That way he has rehab somewhere that can help with the trauma and the brain injury, because it could take 6 months to a year before everything's, as close to 100% as it gets after something like this.
Most of all, Shelby says she's ready for her family to be reunited. Her kids haven't been able to visit the ICU since Tyler was admitted.
It's been emotional, it's been happy, it's been sad. And now that we're in a different room, they are going to try and come up Sunday, hopefully. So they will come with my mom and dad.
Covering News Where You Live, Kayla Davis, 5 News.